Cosmic Awareness. Channeled through Simon Nightstar. August 12, 2015.
Question: I have shared inspired information in regards to offering a broader understanding that all movement, all actions, are telekinetic in nature, being that all matter and all events are psychically linked as one, in universal consciousness. Would you elaborate on this subject in this session? Cosmic Awareness. This awareness sees that you seek further confirmation for a subject which is near and dear to your own understanding, that you wish this awareness to simplify and expand upon this subject of telekinesis. The nature of telekinesis is simply that of mind over matter, or more accurately that all matter, all material action, is really mental, that all action and all events are indeed mentally controlled. That indeed even your weather patterns are mentally controlled, influenced by your human consciousness, just as your human consciousness is mentally influenced by a broader multidimensional consciousness, that which you call soul consciousness. Yes. Thank you, awareness. It is my understanding that telepathy is often poorly defined, as are most human definitions and interpretations. People read and hear about something, and mostly parrot each other, giving nearly word-for-word explanations for phenomena that is barely even glimpsed by human consciousness. It is obvious to me that since everything is energy, and that energy is really consciousness, that it cannot be that just some things or some events are telekinetic and other things aren't. This is in the affirmative, that you cannot separate causation in terms of one event and another, because an event is an event, and all events within a particular system are governed by the same universal laws. That all events that are perceived are mirror reflections of the perceiver's consciousness. That telekinesis is also known as psychokinesis, and psychokinesis means mind action, soul movement, that all movements are equally manipulated by consciousness. This awareness indicates that this is what your scientists such as Einstein and Planck were discovering, that everything is in fact united in a unified field of consciousness. This awareness suggests again that you observe all actions, all events, as you would observe your reflection in a mirror, for mirrors are fractal in nature, just as if you placed two mirrors facing each other and you would see that they reflect each other infinitely. That infinity is indeed reflected in all things, because all things do reflect and mirror infinity. That even in your physical world this awareness is mirrored in each and every one of you. That each and every one of you reflect the light of infinity in your own unique way, and that no reflection is devoid of light, for even darkness is an energy manifestation of light. I am seeing that telekinesis and the fractal nature of mirroring are really one united action. This is in the affirmative, that what you know as movement can be seen to radiate fractally in infinite directions. That all actions are indeed like movie frames in a projector, that consciousness is the projector that projects images within itself, and that what you call reality is self-contained. Being that reality is self-contained, you cannot have one event be telekinetic and another not, for that would violate the very nature of oneness, or that which you may call the unified field of consciousness. The growth and movement of every blade of grass is a mind action, a psychic action, governed by the consciousness that genetically designed it. That this awareness is within each blade of grass, just as it is within you now. That each and every one of you are agents of this awareness, even the most rebellious of entities, and that each and every one of you are involved in the creation of each and every other being. This is what being fractal means, that the multiverse is fractal. Even dissonance or disharmony is in fact part of a greater harmonic pattern, I perceive. A fractal harmony. This is in the affirmative. From the perspective of this awareness, disharmony is an illusion, for it is above disharmony. This relates to the last session in which this awareness elaborated on the acknowledgement of fear. This awareness indicates that as you acknowledge fear, you in fact must perceive it from above, from a position of poise and relaxation, or else you are not really acknowledging it. That you must view fear from a higher perspective than the perspective you were in when you created it. That it takes courage and strength to adopt this higher perspective, this perspective of your higher self. That you must also do the same if you are to understand the cause of events, the psychic nature of events, that you must rise above the state of consciousness that created the event, that you view the event from a neutral position, from that which you may call 0 point. That it is only your beliefs which may limit you and prevent you from understanding the why and the how. This awareness suggests to one and all that you avoid giving too much focus to disharmony and fear, for that is not how you wake up. This awareness suggests that you may acknowledge fear, you may acknowledge disharmony, while simultaneously feeling safe from it, not as an action of cowardice and denial of its validity, but with an understanding that fear represents a virtual reality, a subjective reality, that does not clearly reflect who, in fact, you really are. That fear is a reflection, but a very distorted reflection, a dirty reflection of light. That as you acknowledge fear for what it is, as you acknowledge darkness for what it is, you cannot be enslaved by it, that you in fact are freeing yourself from it, step by step as you continue to expand your awareness of the true nature of consciousness. The true nature of consciousness is that of unspeakable perfection, that which even this awareness cannot really define. But each and every one of you must see this for yourself, must acknowledge it for yourself, when your mind is most open to the revelation of this awareness, this cosmic consciousness. I love it. I would like to mention to the readers that it is my understanding that the entities Bashar and Seth have a very clear understanding of the true nature of psychic phenomena, not that they do not have further growth and expansion themselves. Cosmic awareness, what would you like to share in this regard? That the entities you mentioned are indeed themselves powerful interpreters of this awareness. This awareness will not elaborate much further than this at this time, except to say that both Bashar and Seth are indeed examples of teachers who strive to help humanity redefine its perspectives of the nature of personal reality. This awareness sees your high praise of these entities in helping you to awaken to higher perspectives, higher understandings of these matters. That it is your appreciation that truly guides you and elevates you to new heights. This awareness speaks to one and all here. That this awareness suggests that you give praise to appreciation, for appreciation is another name for your highest nature, your highest self. That you give praise, meaning that you give thanks, that you give appreciation for appreciation itself. That as funny as it may sound to some of you, that you do inflate your ego, your sense of self, for true inflation of the ego is actually expansion of your conscious awareness of who, in fact, you really are. That you do not inflate fear, the false ego, but that you inflate your sense of I am to include a conscious acknowledgement of yourself as all that is. That you in effect learn to perceive yourself as this awareness perceives itself, as one infinite consciousness. That you do not say for example, I, John Smith, am one infinite consciousness, but that you hold one infinite consciousness as your inner point of reference, in reflection and in feeling. There are some who are interpreters of cosmic awareness that have been filtering you through their belief systems that are heavily focused on so-called elites and powers that be, and much of the typical conspiracy subject matter of this current era, and I would appreciate any thoughts you may have on this matter at this time. That this awareness is open to one and all, and that this awareness doesn't reject sharing its wisdom with anyone, although an interpreter is simply that, one who interprets, and no interpretation is meant to stand as absolute truth. That it is ego in terms of fear, in terms of arrogance, that may maintain that there be only one official interpreter of this awareness, for although there are indeed those who have been formally trained and very willing to step in as the official interpreter of awareness, that this awareness doesn't withhold its wisdom and information from anyone who sincerely attunes to it. That this awareness belongs not to one organization, but to one and all. This awareness does avoid providing certain specific information at times in which it may be dangerous or premature for certain entities to receive such information, while at the same time this awareness may openly share the very same information with other entities or groups that are truly ready and mature to receive such information, where it may be safe for them to be privy to certain secrets or revelations. In closing this session, this awareness indicates that those interpreters of this awareness who do relay such information in regards to the plans of so-called elites, that these interpreters are indeed serving as powerful catalysts for global awakening, if even just 100 entities on your planet were reading or listening to their sessions. You are all planting seeds that ultimately encourage growth, even those who consciously or unconsciously spread disinformation. That disinformation is still information, and that those of you who are attuned to your higher self, that you are not deceived or greatly deceived by such information. This awareness closes this session, sending its love, light and gratitude to all. Thank you, awareness.